Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear brothers and sisters. Have you ever wondered why Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, showed such deep love and care for cats? In Islam, compassion extends beyond humans to every living being, and the Prophet's tender actions toward animals reflect this beautifully. Among all creatures, cats held a special place in his heart. In today's video, we'll uncover a heartwarming story that showcases the Prophet's extraordinary kindness. A story where he makes a gentle sacrifice for a sleeping cat. This tale is more than just a narrative. It's a lesson in love, mercy, and the profound teachings of Islam. Stay with us as we explore why Prophet Muhammad's affection for cats continues to inspire millions even today. The day was warm, and a gentle breeze danced through the narrow streets of Medina. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, beloved by his companions and deeply cherished by all who knew him, was sitting under the shade of a palm tree near his modest home. The midday sun hung lazily in the sky, casting soft golden hues over the sandy ground. It was a moment of calm, a pause in the Prophet's tireless mission of guiding his community toward truth and compassion. As he sat on his simple mat, wrapped in his well-worn cloak, a small, graceful cat wandered into his presence. Her fur, a delicate mixture of white and tawny, glistened as she stretched luxuriously under the warmth of the sun. The cat, like many creatures in Medina, seemed instinctively drawn to the Prophet. His aura of tranquility and kindness was magnetic, even to animals, who appeared to sense the deep well of compassion that resided within him. The cat padded quietly toward him, her movements fluid and light, as if treading on air. She gazed at him with eyes that sparkled like amber, her small head tilting slightly as though she sought his approval. The Prophet noticed her and offered a gentle smile, his expression radiating warmth. Without hesitation, he extended his hand, and the cat approached, brushing her side softly against his fingers. She purred contentedly, a sound that seemed to harmonize with the quiet serenity of the moment. After a while, the cat circled a few times and found a comfortable spot at the edge of the Prophet's cloak. She curled into a perfect circle, her tail tucked neatly around her body, and closed her eyes. The soft rise and fall of her small body signaled that she had fallen into a peaceful slumber. The Prophet watched her with tenderness, marveling at the simplicity and purity of her trust. Time passed, and the Prophet realized it was time for him to attend to his duties. The call of his mission was ever present, and he knew his companions and followers would be waiting for his guidance. Yet, as he shifted slightly, his eyes fell on the sleeping cat. She remained undisturbed, her rhythmic breathing the only movement as she lay on the edge of his cloak. He paused, his heart caught in the delicate balance between his responsibilities and his compassion for this small creature. To disturb her sleep, to frighten her from her moment of peace, was unthinkable to him. The Prophet had always lived with a profound awareness of the sanctity of life, a deep respect for all of Allah's creations, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant. Gently, he reached for the edge of his cloak. The fabric was soft and light, worn from years of use. Taking great care not to wake the cat, the Prophet retrieved a small knife from nearby. The blade glinted in the sunlight as he bent over the cloak. With the precision and care of someone performing a sacred act, he began to cut the portion of the fabric where the cat rested. His movements were deliberate and measured, ensuring that the cat remained undisturbed. As he worked, the Prophet's heart swelled with gratitude for the opportunity to show kindness, even in this small act. He had always believed that compassion was not reserved for grand gestures, but found its truest expression in the everyday moments of life. To him, this simple act of preserving the cat's rest was as important as any sermon or act of worship. It was a demonstration of his unwavering belief in mercy and love for all of Allah's creation. When he had finished cutting the fabric, he carefully set aside the piece of his cloak on which the cat lay. Standing, he adjusted the remainder of the garment around himself. His gaze lingered on the sleeping cat for a moment, a soft smile playing on his lips. He then turned, and walked away, leaving her to her peaceful slumber. Word of the Prophet's act quickly spread among his companions. They were moved by the beauty and simplicity of his gesture, and it became a story they recounted with reverence and admiration. It was a testament to the depth of the Prophet's compassion, a reminder that his love and care extended beyond humans to include all of Allah's creatures. For the people of Medina, the story of the Prophet and the sleeping cat became a lesson in mercy. It was not only about kindness to animals, but also about living with mindfulness and respect for the world around them. The Prophet's act reminded them that true strength lay not in force or power, but in gentleness and consideration. The story of the cloak and the cat would continue to be told for generations, its message echoing through time. It became a symbol of the Prophet's unwavering commitment to compassion, teaching Muslims to embody these values in their own lives. Whether through feeding a stray animal, caring for the environment, or showing patience and understanding to others, the Prophet's example served as a beacon of light, guiding them toward a life of kindness and empathy. The cat herself, blissfully unaware of the impact she had inspired, eventually awoke from her nap. She stretched her slender body, yawned delicately, and looked around. The Prophet was no longer there, but the piece of fabric beneath her remained. Perhaps in her way, she sensed the care that had been shown to her, the love that had preserved her comfort. With a flick of her tail, she rose and gracefully walked away, her presence a fleeting but unforgettable part of the Prophet's extraordinary legacy. In this simple yet profound moment, the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, demonstrated that no act of kindness is too small. His compassion for a sleeping cat exemplified the essence of his character and the teachings of Islam, a faith built on the pillars of mercy, respect, and love for all of creation. Through this story, we are reminded that even the gentlest of actions can leave a lasting impact, illuminating the path toward a more compassionate world. The story of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, and the sleeping cat, is more than a tale of a simple act of kindness. It is a rich tapestry of lessons that flow naturally from his actions, revealing profound insights about mercy, respect, and the essence of a compassionate life. Each detail of the story carries a message, not as a series of points, but as an interconnected narrative that invites reflection and inspires action. At its heart, this story is about kindness that knows no boundaries. The Prophet's gentle decision to cut his own cloak to avoid disturbing the cat illustrates that compassion extends beyond humans to all living creatures. He saw in that sleeping cat more than just an animal. He saw a being entrusted to humanity by Allah. Her vulnerability and trust mirrored the beauty of divine creation, and the Prophet's response was not one of superiority, but of humility and care. This was a moment where mercy became action, where love transcended words. What makes this story so powerful is the mindfulness in the Prophet's actions. He didn't act out of haste or convenience, but with deliberate thoughtfulness. He recognized the sacredness of even the smallest life and treated it with the respect it deserved. This mindfulness is a reminder for all of us to approach our lives with a similar awareness, not just to rush through our days, but to see the opportunities for gentleness and care that exist in every moment. The act of cutting his cloak wasn't just about the cat. It was a lesson in selflessness. The Prophet sacrificed something of his own to preserve the comfort of another. It was a small gesture, but it spoke volumes about his character. He taught us that true compassion often comes in quiet, unassuming moments, when we choose others' well-being over our own convenience. His action reminds us that kindness is not measured by its scale, but by the sincerity with which it is given. There's also a timeless lesson in how the Prophet's act rippled outward. Though the cat may not have understood the significance of what happened, those who witnessed it carried the story forward. They shared it with others, passing along not just the tale, but the values it embodied. This ripple effect shows that even the smallest acts of kindness can leave a profound impact, inspiring others to emulate the same compassion in their own lives. Kindness, as the Prophet showed, is a seed that grows beyond what we can see. In this story, the Prophet also demonstrated the true strength of leadership, not through authority or command, but through gentleness and example. His companions learned from his actions, not through lectures, but through the living proof of his mercy. This is a reminder that the most powerful lessons are often unspoken, taught through what we do rather than what we say. Ultimately, this story is an invitation to reflect on our own lives. How do we treat those who are vulnerable? How do we respond to moments when we have the power to act with kindness? The Prophet's choice to let the cat rest peacefully teaches us that no being is too small to matter, no act of care too insignificant to make a difference. This narrative weaves together lessons of humility, selflessness, mindfulness, and the transformative power of compassion. It reminds us that the beauty of life lies in these moments of quiet mercy, where we transcend our own needs to honor the lives of others. Through his actions, the Prophet showed us not just how to live, but how to love all of creation as a reflection of divine grace. As we reflect on the gentle actions of Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, toward a sleeping cat, we are reminded of the beauty of compassion and the timeless lessons it carries. His love for all living beings, especially cats, wasn't just a moment of kindness. It was a way of life, a demonstration of mercy, mindfulness, and respect for all of Allah's creation. Let this story inspire us to bring more gentleness into our own lives, to see the divine in every creature, and to remember that even the smallest acts of care can ripple through the world in ways we may never imagine. Thank you for joining us in exploring this heartwarming story. May it encourage us all to live with more kindness and compassion every day. The symbolism of cats in Islam. The love and care that Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, displayed for cats is a deeply cherished aspect of Islamic tradition. This affection is not merely anecdotal, but rooted in the broader principles of mercy and kindness that Islam advocates toward all living beings. Cats hold a special place in Islamic culture, often regarded as ritually clean animals, and their presence is associated with tranquility and a sense of purity. The Prophet's actions reflected this reverence as he welcomed cats into his home and treated them with the utmost dignity and compassion. His attitude toward these gentle creatures established a timeless example of how Muslims should interact with animals, emphasizing care, respect, and kindness. Islam teaches that all of Allah's creations have a purpose and deserve to be treated with kindness. This principle was exemplified by the Prophet in his daily interactions with animals, and cats were no exception. He recognized their unique qualities, such as their grace, independence, and ability to form trusting relationships with humans. These characteristics were seen as manifestations of Allah's wisdom and creativity, which the Prophet valued deeply. His affection for cats went beyond mere sentimentality. It was an acknowledgement of their place in the divine order and a reflection of the broader Islamic ethos of harmony with nature. A well-known saying, attributed to the Prophet, beautifully encapsulates this sentiment. Whoever is kind to the creatures of Allah is kind to themselves. This profound statement serves as a reminder that our treatment of animals is not only a measure of our compassion, but also a reflection of our own character and spiritual awareness. To be kind to animals, including cats, is to honor Allah's creation and recognize the interconnectedness of all living beings. This perspective encourages Muslims to view acts of kindness toward animals as acts of devotion and a means of drawing closer to Allah. The presence of cats in Islamic history and tradition often symbolizes more than just companionship. They represent a balance of qualities that are admired in human behavior: grace in movement, independence tempered by trust, and an innate ability to bring calm and comfort to those around them. These traits made cats particularly beloved by the Prophet, who treated them not as inferior beings, but as cherished creations of Allah. This perspective cultivated a culture where animals were not only protected, but also valued for their unique contributions to the world. Through his actions, the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, set a precedent for kindness that transcends species and size. He demonstrated that compassion is not limited to grand gestures, but can be found in the smallest of moments, like ensuring the comfort of a sleeping cat. This ethos of mercy, deeply embedded in Islamic teachings, extends to all aspects of life and continues to inspire Muslims to uphold the dignity and well-being of every creature. In this way, cats, with their unique qualities and symbolic significance, serve as a reminder of the importance of living harmoniously with all of Allah's creations. The story of Mueda. The story of Mueda, the beloved cat of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, is one of profound tenderness and compassion, reflecting the deep kindness that characterized his life. It is said that one day, as the Prophet was preparing for prayer, Mueda found comfort and rest on the sleeve of his garment. The image of a small, trusting creature curling up without fear captures the essence of the Prophet's gentle nature. Animals, like humans, were drawn to his presence, sensing his profound mercy and care. The bond between the Prophet and Mueda was not just a testament to his love for animals, but also a reflection of his view that all of Allah's creation deserved respect and kindness. As the time for prayer approached, the Prophet faced a choice that could disrupt Mueda's peaceful rest. Yet, his response demonstrated his extraordinary mindfulness and the depth of his compassion. Instead of simply moving the cat or waking her from her sleep, he carefully cut the sleeve of his garment to avoid disturbing her. This act, seemingly small in its simplicity, carries a weight of meaning that transcends the moment. It was not just an act of care for a creature that sought his protection. It was an acknowledgement of the sanctity of life and the trust that even the smallest beings place in humans. The Prophet's decision to prioritize the comfort of Mueda over the inconvenience of cutting his own garment speaks volumes about his character. It highlights a level of selflessness and consideration that extended to every aspect of his life. He recognized the interconnectedness of all living beings, treating them with the dignity and care they deserved. In this moment, the Prophet exemplified that true leadership and strength are found not in authority or force, but in acts of mercy and humility. His actions were a silent but powerful reminder to his followers that even the smallest sacrifices made out of kindness carry immense value. The tenderness shown to Mueda also underscored the Prophet's broader teachings about the rights of animals. He often reminded his followers that animals, too, are part of Allah's creation, and that their well-being is a responsibility entrusted to humanity. Through this act of sparing Mueda any discomfort, the Prophet taught that kindness should not be conditional or limited, but extended to all creatures, no matter how insignificant they might seem to others. This perspective invites us to reflect on the small but meaningful ways we can show care and consideration in our daily lives, not only to humans, but to all beings. Word of this touching act quickly spread among the Prophet's companions, who were moved by the beauty of his gesture. They shared the story, not just as an example of his love for Mueda, but as a broader lesson in mercy and mindfulness. The incident became a symbol of the Prophet's unwavering commitment to compassion, inspiring his followers to emulate his behavior. The quiet nobility of his actions resonated deeply, reminding them that true kindness often lies in the simple, deliberate choices we make every day. Through this story, the Prophet's love and respect for all of Allah's creation became a legacy that continues to inspire millions across generations. Applying the Prophet's example in modern times. In our modern lives, filled with haste and self-interest, the Prophet Muhammad's, peace and blessings be upon him, compassion serves as a powerful reminder to pause and consider the needs of others, including animals. This example calls us to actively demonstrate mercy in our daily interactions with all of Allah's creations. One of the simplest ways to embody this kindness is by caring for stray animals. Feeding, providing water, or even creating small shelters for cats and other creatures reflects the profound mercy the Prophet practiced. His saying, "There is a reward for serving any living being," Sahih al-Bukhari, reminds us that every act of care, no matter how small, holds value in the eyes of Allah. By showing such tenderness, we uphold the sanctity of life and build a more compassionate world around us. The Prophet's respect for animals extended beyond individual acts of kindness and encompassed his reverence for the environment as a whole. He encouraged his followers to protect natural resources and maintain balance in their surroundings, emphasizing that the earth and its inhabitants are trusts from Allah. This concept of stewardship, or khilafah, obliges us to care for the environment in a way that benefits all creatures. From reducing waste to preserving green spaces, our efforts to maintain the health of our planet echo the Prophet's teachings. By safeguarding the habitats of animals and ensuring their access to clean water and food, we not only honor their rights but also fulfill our role as caretakers of Allah's creation. The Prophet's approach to mercy also extended to his everyday interactions, setting a standard of kindness that transcends species and situations. His life was filled with moments of thoughtful gestures and caring actions, showing that true compassion lies in the details of how we treat others. For example, a simple act of smiling at a stranger, assisting someone in need, or speaking kindly to a distressed person can ripple outward and create a positive impact. The Prophet believed that these small, seemingly insignificant acts of goodness build a harmonious society. His teachings urge us to be mindful of how we interact with those around us, cultivating patience, understanding, and respect as central values. Living in a fast-paced world, it is easy to overlook opportunities for kindness, but the Prophet's example urges us to remain vigilant and deliberate in our actions. Every moment offers a chance to act with mercy, whether by helping a vulnerable neighbor, offering water to a thirsty bird, or protecting an animal from harm. The sincerity with which these acts are performed matters far more than their scale, as the Prophet's life demonstrates time and again. These actions serve as reminders of our shared connection with all living beings, inspiring us to treat others with the dignity they deserve. The ripple effect of compassion is another lesson from the Prophet's life that holds great relevance today. His acts of kindness, though often simple, left a profound impact on those who witnessed them, encouraging others to follow his example. This chain of goodness continues to inspire people to emulate his mercy in their own lives. Whether through community efforts, to care for stray animals, or teaching children to respect nature, the values of the Prophet resonate across generations. By spreading kindness in this way, we create a legacy of love and care that reflects the teachings of Islam, reinforcing the importance of living with humility and mercy in all aspects of life. The ripple effect of kindness. One of the most beautiful aspects of the Prophet's love for cats is the profound influence his actions have had on Muslims throughout history. His gentle care and compassion for these animals set an enduring example that resonates across generations. In Islamic teachings, the emphasis on kindness to all living beings is central, and the Prophet's personal love for cats has amplified this message in a unique and heartfelt way. His treatment of cats wasn't just a reflection of his character, but a guiding principle for his followers, reminding them to extend mercy to all creatures, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant. This message of compassion has become deeply embedded in the cultural practices of Muslim communities worldwide, shaping attitudes and behaviors in remarkable ways. Across Muslim-majority cultures, the love and care for cats have become a living tradition, passed down through families and communities. The influence of the Prophet's example is evident in the way cats are treated with affection and respect, often regarded as cherished companions. In many regions, it is not uncommon to see cats lounging in courtyards or near homes, where they are welcomed and cared for by families. This cultural norm stems directly from the teachings and actions of the Prophet, who viewed kindness as a vital expression of faith. The presence of cats in homes and public spaces reflects a commitment to this principle, symbolizing a broader ethos of mercy and coexistence. In some areas, this legacy of compassion extends even further, with mosques and religious institutions serving as sanctuaries for stray cats. Many mosques around the world have designated spaces where cats can find food, water, and shelter. This practice reflects a collective effort to honor the teachings of Islam and the Prophet's example, ensuring that even the most vulnerable animals are cared for. Visitors to these mosques often remark on the peaceful coexistence between worshippers and the cats, a scene that encapsulates the harmony and mutual respect taught in Islam. This tradition not only benefits the animals, but also enriches the spiritual experience of the community, reminding them of their responsibility as stewards of Allah's creation. The ripple effect of this compassion is not limited to human-animal interactions. It inspires broader acts of kindness within society. The Prophet's example has encouraged countless Muslims to adopt a more mindful and considerate approach to all aspects of life, from caring for neighbors to preserving the environment. By fostering empathy for animals, the lessons extend naturally to fostering empathy for people, creating a culture of mutual care and understanding. This ethos of compassion becomes a way of life, influencing how individuals engage with the world around them. The small yet meaningful acts of kindness inspired by the Prophet's love for cats ripple outward, creating a chain reaction of goodwill and positivity. Over the centuries, this legacy of kindness has transcended borders and cultures, leaving a lasting impact on how animals are perceived and treated in Islamic societies. The simple yet profound actions of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, have sparked an enduring movement of love and care that continues to thrive. Whether through providing food for a stray, rescuing an injured animal, or simply showing patience and respect, these everyday gestures reflect the timeless values imparted by the Prophet. His example serves as a beacon, guiding Muslims to see the divine beauty in every creature and to act with mercy in all their interactions. This legacy is a testament to the transformative power of compassion and the enduring influence of one man's extraordinary love for Allah's creation. As we reflect on the profound lessons from the Prophet Muhammad's peace and blessings be upon him, life, it is essential to consider how we can embody his teachings of compassion in our everyday actions. Compassion is not limited to grand gestures, but is reflected in the small, seemingly insignificant acts of kindness that touch the lives of others. Whether it's feeding a stray cat, providing water for a thirsty bird, or planting trees to create shade for both humans and animals, these acts of care remind us of our responsibility as stewards of Allah's creation. The Prophet's example teaches us to recognize the interconnectedness of all living beings and to honor this connection through thoughtful and merciful actions. Mindfulness is at the heart of showing compassion. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, lived with a heightened awareness of the needs of those around him, both human and animal. This awareness calls us to pause in our busy lives and observe the small details that often go unnoticed. Are there animals in our neighborhoods that need shelter or food? Is there an opportunity to help maintain a cleaner, safer environment for all of Allah's creatures? By being mindful, we create space to practice kindness and extend our care beyond ourselves, ensuring that our presence becomes a source of comfort and benefit to those who share our world. The teachings of the Prophet remind us that acts of kindness, no matter how small, carry immense value. Sacrificing a moment of convenience, sharing what we have, or even choosing not to harm an insect reflects the spirit of mercy the Prophet embodied. In a world that often prioritizes self-interest, taking a moment to think about others, even those who cannot express their needs, elevates our character and strengthens our bond with the Creator. The Prophet's choice to leave a sleeping cat undisturbed on his cloak serves as a powerful example of prioritizing the comfort of another being over one's own convenience, a lesson that continues to inspire millions. Compassion also extends to the environment, a creation of Allah entrusted to humanity as a responsibility. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, emphasized the importance of not wasting resources, protecting water sources, and planting trees as acts of charity. These teachings remind us that our care for animals is inseparable from our care for the natural world that sustains them. By making choices that reduce harm to the environment, we honor not only the Prophet's legacy, but also our role as caretakers of the earth. Every small act, whether it's conserving water or planting flowers to nourish bees, contributes to a more harmonious coexistence with nature. The Prophet's compassion teaches us to go beyond obligation and embrace the beauty of kindness as a way of life. His life is a reminder that no act of care is too small or insignificant, and every moment is an opportunity to bring peace and goodness into the world. Whether it's smiling at a neighbor, feeding a stray animal, or simply refraining from harm, our actions have the power to create ripples of kindness. By embodying these values, we not only honor the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, but also create a legacy of compassion that inspires others to follow in his footsteps. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.